This ain't a fortress anymore. People can walk in here and take points if they want them. We're handing them out.
Seattle Sounders 0, Portland Timbers 0. Santi, thoughts on today's match?
I mean, if I had to use one word, I would just say boring, maybe disappointing. But yeah, it was just a really lackluster performance from both teams. I mean, it was nice to see the younger guys playing. I think Cody did fine today, Cody Baker. Him and Reed both turned up a little bit towards the end, but really nothing significant. Other than that, the first half was just kind of atrocious by us, to be honest. We kept giving the ball away as we were trying to build from the back, and we didn't seem to learn our lesson. Second half, a little more solid. The one-touch passing was fine, but really just no chances. Like Portland, if Nouhou scored that last minute, flying aerial, I wouldn't have been happy with that goal. We really did not deserve any kind of win today.
So the last time we beat the Timbers at home in Seattle was back in 2017, 5 years ago. Obviously, we still have another game against them at home, but this extends Portland's run of us not being able to beat them for 5 games. What would be your comment towards that now? That it's extended now to 5 games.
I mean, I can't think of any excuses at this point. There really seems to be no excuse at this point not to beat them. I mean, if you can't change the way that you're playing for how long has it been? 6 years, 5-6 years. It's just not acceptable, really. Like something needs to change. Something needs to change. Don't know what it is, but something.
So we had 3 games at home, Red Bull, San Jose, now Portland. People were hoping 9 points from 3 home games, especially for the recent bad performances against Austin, Sporting Kansas City. We only got 4 points. We keep slipping down the table. Obviously, it hasn't shown yet because the other teams under us have games in hand, but obviously those games in hand are going to start piling up a lot. We're just slowly slipping down the table. So what is your thoughts been on that?
I mean, as far as most of our games go, defensively, we do fine. We really can just get nothing going offensively. I mean, you spend so much money, over $3 million on Ruidíaz, on Lodeiro. You're spending 1.5 on Abdoulaye, and as far as they're not showing any numbers to help their case for how much money we're paying them. There needs to be a serious rework of the attacking part of our team. It's nice to see Roldan back. I think once Morse comes back as well, I think there could be, a lot of attacking options there. But right now we need somebody up top to just pound some shots in. We need more shots, especially on target.
There has been some people talking about when does Brian kind of get into the hot seat? Because obviously we're doing better this season compared to last season. But when does the conversation got to start brewing with Brian and him being in the hot seat a little bit?
I think it should start probably a year or 2 ago. I think it's been a little bit since we've needed a
talk with Brian one-on-one.
Yeah, either a change from Brian or a change to somebody else. And we're not seeing either of those right now. But
I know. I remember when we spoke last time we had you on, it was the Vancouver game. And I kind of spoke about how either the players need to, like the rebuild needs to start, or the tactics need to change from Brian Schmetzer. Where do you kind of lie between that gray area for the Sounders right now?
For a while, I was thinking Brian needs to change some things up. At this point, he has a part to play in it, but at this point, seeing the individual performances, not just how the team gels together, because they kind of gel together, but we're fluffing some real big opportunities here, and we just can't
even create many opportunities.
Yeah.
Today, we apparently had 1 shot on target, but I think it was blocked. We didn't have any clear-cut chances. Again, in today's game, it's just like, this is just so hard to watch.
Yeah.
And the tactics have to be put up in this conversation. The players have to be put up in this conversation. We're paying big bucks to a lot of players that just don't produce.
Yeah, I think the crosses are sloppy. The finishing is
I don't even think we can cross.
Yeah, I think probably 85% of our crosses were on the ground, and every single one of them was getting stuffed by the defenders. I mean, at some point, I don't know when you decide to change how you're doing what you're doing, you know, like put the cross in the air, because when it was in the air, we did get maybe 1 or 2 headers, which is good to see, but then it comes down to the people receiving those crosses to actually put it in the back of the net, and that's not happening either. So really, almost every single aspect about this team has just kind of been disappointing, especially very recently.
Seattle Sounders 0, Portland Timbers 0. Hayden, what was your thoughts on today's match?
Stale.
That's it, just stale?
This game was incredibly hard to watch. We keep putting out the same formation every single week. Unless we can get our fullbacks to actually commit up, 4-2-3-1 is not for us. We need to find something else. Brian, I know you got something else in the playbook. It can't be the same formation every game.
For you today, why did we look so poor in this match? 1 shot on target, apparently, no clear-cut chances made. What does this come down to?
Brian. I think Brian saw this as a game to try to keep his job as much as he can. I think he wanted the tie going into the game. We did not look like we were playing to win. Portland came out with their foot on our neck. That first half I was hoping that Portland was going to score on us to finally put Brian in a dangerous situation, get him to react, but that didn't happen. It ended up being a very boring match.
Very stale from both teams, but now this extends Portland's run of the Seattle Sounders not being able to beat them in 5 matches. When will this end? When will Seattle finally be able to get a win against the Timbers, and at least get a win at home against the Timbers, as it's been 5 years since that's happened?
This ain't a fortress anymore. People can walk in here and take points if they want them. We're handing them out. I mean, it's going to take some big changes, front office changes, management changes, coaching changes. There's a lot that's got to change, because it seems like we're pretty
stagnant
with where we are. And I can't wait to hear everyone commenting, you can't sack Brian. We're still in first. Great. We're in first with 5 games ahead of LAFC. If you don't think that LAFC is the first place team in the Western Conference, you are delusional.
Fair enough. I mean, for you, how do we move on from this game? How do we go up instead of keep trickling down? How do we improve from here?
I think we got to see some change. Hopefully Cristian coming back into the picture will be something to give the team something to play for. Hopefully once we get Ruidíaz back in form, maybe he'll start doing things for us again.
But he'll get injured after that?
He'll probably get another hamstring injury. Seems to be the tale of our season. Morris, he could stay out all season if he'd like. Take a bench spot. Maybe he could come on, score some tap-ins as usual. I don't know. It's getting really hard to come to these home games now.